Let's get it. Listen, man. A lot of people are, including myself, are benefiting from Caitlin Clark, WNBA. You know, I think it's a good thing for them that it's not that the WNBA timed their season right because it's not during football. It's after men's college basketball, women's college basketball. It's after, it's you know, the NBA playoffs is pretty much over. NFL doesn't start till the very end of it, right? So you got this perfect slice of time where you can have this league. Many people are benefiting from it. But there's a lot of narratives out there about like what's going on. Is it a race? Is it this? Is it that? With Caitlin Clark, all this and all. Is it hating? Is it just? There's a lot of it. I've done some videos on it myself. But my next two videos on Caitlin Clark or whatever, this one today and the next one, I'm trying to really put an end to some of the conversation, even though it's still going to happen. That doesn't mean anything if I say that. Just like Elon Musk saying he's going to kill the woke mind virus. It doesn't mean anything because you can't kill it with money, and that's what he has. You need more than that. But Sheryl Swoopes is a WNBA legend. I remember she was one of the first people that back in the day got me watching a little bit of women's basketball. I wasn't really into it, just to be honest. But she was a dog, and she was born. And I remembered she had a son and asked Michael Jordan, could she name her son Jordan? I was kind of wild that she asked him, can I name him after your name, your last name? But anyway, it was respecting, I guess. And then she, you know, ended up, you know, obviously she retire and things like that. Well, now she's back making a name for herself. And a lot of people are calling her the Caitlin Clark. She is the leader of the Hate Kate Gate, right? This is Hate Kate Gate, and Sheryl Swoopes is at the lead of it, all right? For that reason, a lot of people say she's hating. But there's something else. This isn't hate from Sheryl Swoopes. Let me make it clear. Sheryl Swoopes, she needs Caitlin Clark. She doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. She doesn't hate her. So we're going to watch this one brief audio clip where she's talking about the Indiana fever and listen to who she infamously leaves out, right? Now, this is just one clip. Sheryl Swoopes is going down for saying a lot of stuff, right? But watch it. Listen to what she says here in this clip on her podcast. And then I'm going to show you, Caitlin, everyone who says that Sheryl Swoopes is hating on Caitlin Clark is not paying attention. They don't understand the culture that we live in today. You have to understand the culture that we live in today. Sheryl Swoopes does not hate Caitlin Clark. She needs her. But let's watch this clip and you'll see what I mean. All right? Listen to this. Listen to what she says here.
I do want to say this because we talked about the Olympic break, who it could help, who it could hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the complete opposite with two teams,
the 7th and 8th place team.
I think the Olympic break really helped Indiana.
Absolutely.
Like they look like they've spent time, whether they took time off or not, but they worked on stuff. This Indiana team, I'm going to say shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just broken. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston almost a triple-double. I know we're talking about teams where they can move and things changing, but if Indiana continues to play the way they're playing like this, they too are going to move up in the standings, right?
All right, let's be clear. Lexi Hall, I don't know. I haven't followed her whole career, but that's probably the best game she's played, at least this season. Her and Caitlin Clark have become really good buddies. They hang out a lot. You see them a lot coming up at events together. They're shooting together, practicing. She knocked down, she's right. But notice she didn't say anything about Caitlin Clark. And this is what everybody's saying, is she is a big hater of Caitlin Clark. This is what everyone's saying, that she's a hater. She doesn't mention Caitlin Clark at all. But let me explain to you why that is the wrong assessment. All right. She doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. She needs her. And this is why I'm saying this. You have to, in order to understand what I'm saying, you have to understand marketing in the 21st century, right? This is a completely different marketing phenomenon, all right? Now, in the traditional marketing, the greatest rule in advertising is to grab attention with a strong headline, all right? That still matters. This is why people, including myself at times, will choose our headlines. We'll capitalize a letter because we want to grab you. Even if it's clickbait, we want to grab you, right? That's what you do. The greatest rule in advertising is to grab attention with a strong headline. But this is a different marketing and advertising model because we no longer are a traditional advertising market anymore. There are influencers, people, individuals like myself. Now you don't get your news anymore from Fox, CBS, NBC, MSNBC. You don't get your media from them anymore. You get your media from, you can go to someone's Medium page. You go on YouTube channel. Many of you probably get more information about what's happening in the world from YouTube, people like myself and others who have channels, than you do traditional media. So we do not live in a marketing scheme that was back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's a different monster. And I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna break this down for you so you can see it for yourself. We are in a different marketing reality, right? So when I say Sheryl Swoopes is not hating, no, she's not. She needs Caitlin Clark. She needs to say these things, and you'll see why in just a second. Look at this with me, all right? On your screen, you will see at the top, influencer marketing versus traditional advertising, all right? Let's go to this chart real quick so I can show you exactly what I mean, all right? Let's look at this. Look at this, influencer versus traditional, all right? Here's what I mean, all right? On the trust and on the influencer marketing side for trust and authenticity, it says influencers are seen as authentic and relatable, with 92% of consumers trusting them over traditional ads, all right? Then you have traditional ads often, on the other side, traditional ads often lack the personal touch. This is why you see a lot of, remember when the Super Bowl commercials used to be really good, really creative, and now they just hire a bunch of celebrities. Like at the last Super Bowl, it was almost like every commercial was about who has the most celebrities in their commercial, right? Because traditional advertising is dead, influencer marketing is up. So for trust and authenticity, 92% of consumers trust influencers more than traditional. Audience engagement, look at this. Influencer marketing fosters higher engagement through likes, comments, and shares. That's how you do it. I say, hey, like and subscribe to my channel, right? I do a video, the algorithm puts it out there, people like my content. I gained 100 followers in a day or two just because of a Caitlin Clark video I did, right? But on the traditional advertising, look, engagement is typically one way with limited interaction between brands and consumers. So they would just tell you this stuff and then you go buy it. But now influencers are sharing content, you're liking stuff, you feel connected to the person. Look at this, number 3, over here, content creation. Influencers create personalized and relatable content, often in the form of stories, or experiences. On the traditional side, though, content is usually created by the brand and can be more generic and less personalized. Have you ever watched a commercial, especially car commercials? I'll watch commercials and be like, who told them that this would sell cars? I mean, maybe people are watching it and buy it, but I was like, this is not going to make the average person buy cars. This is ridiculous, right? But when it's a person, when it's an influencer, well, their content is different. It's more relatable. It's more personal. You can take risks. If you're on YouTube, I can make a whole commercial for as long as I want to sell you something, and I don't got to pay for it. So it's different. When it's traditional, you got to put that on TV and companies that cost money, and it has to be 60 seconds because they're only going to show you a commercial during a commercial break between shows. It's just different. Look at this, targeting and reach. allows brands to reach niche audiences. This is influencer. I'm telling you, people forget this. This is a different kind of marketing phenomenon. This is not the typical marketing. Nowadays, people look to other people that are regular people to tell them what they think they should buy. How many times do you watch videos comparing brands or you don't just go to the store anymore and look around. You look for what people think about things. We live in an influencer market. It's not traditional marketing anymore. It says it allows brands to reach niche audiences through influencers who align with their target market. But traditional targeting and reach, traditional ads target broader audiences, often with less precision. Right. It's broad. You're just going to say stuff and you hope people agree with it and buy it. All right. Here's the big one: cost and ROI, which is return on investment. For a traditional influencer can be cost effective with higher return on investment. Micro influencers charge significantly less than traditional ad campaigns, 100%. There was a point where they said Super Bowl commercials had it was like $1 million a second or a minute. Or something. It was incredible. I remember it was like $1 million a second at one point. It was crazy money. But you hire someone who has the social media following, you pay them 10 grand, they'll be happy for that and they'll market your products. Maybe more than that now, but you get what I'm saying. The cost of return on investment in traditional advertising can be expensive and it's less predictable. Platform utilization on the influencer side predominantly uses social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Traditional marketing utilizes TV, radio, print, and online ads, which may not reach younger audiences as effectively. Content flexibility, last one. Influencers have creative freedom, leading to diverse and innovative content. Traditional ads often follow strict guidelines and formats. Listen, we're the stuff that we're calling hate often, right? The stuff that we're calling hate is almost always not hate. There's some that's hate, but you have to understand the marketing in the 21st century. We just looked at a chart that shows you it's an influencer culture now. 40 years ago, there was leadership. There were leaders, and there was traditional marketing and advertising models. Today, someone could ask me, I could be like, hey, this show is sponsored by Kirk Kennedy product, and I could just tell you what it is. And if I had a large following, you're going to pay me to talk about your product. You ever watch a YouTube channel and they're talking? Some people do it smooth. Ben Shapiro be smooth with it. He'll be like, yeah, so when you're in Israel, actually, you can buy a particular mattress over there and he'll just go into this product. You don't even know it's smooth, right? So we're in the 21st century. There is an influencer marketing and people are drawn to individuals, all right? That's the first thing you need to know. Little marketing background for me to make this point. Now, here's the second reason why Sheryl Swoopes doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. She needs it. Let me tell you what's happening. Sheryl Swoopes is no fool, all right? She's no fool. She is watching. She's a media person. She's aware of all of the celebration, some would even say idolatry, of Caitlin Clark. Some say it's race, is that. Honestly, my last video, someone said, yeah, brother, I think you should see the races behind it. It is on a smaller scale, but what people are calling race is not race. My next video, I'm going to break down again what the real issue is. It's not about because Caitlin Clark is white. There's a lot of white people that are in the WNBA that are tough. Kelsey Plum and them, back-to-back champions. This ain't because she's white. There's another issue, but that's a different video. But Sheryl Swoopes has been watching this girl from college and all of that, right? This girl's dropping, she's just white girl from Iowa, killing them, dropping buckets. Most exciting player, logo threes. Honestly, you can say whatever you want. You haven't seen people shoot like her, at least women, right? She's seeing all of this happen. She's hearing what everyone's talking about. And when you play a sport, when you're good at something, and someone comes in and is really good, you're always like, man, they ain't better than me. They don't do it like I used to do it. You kind of have that vibe. But that's not Sheryl Swoopes' issue. Sheryl Swoopes is watching everyone be immortalize Caitlin Clark. She's watching no WNBA draft has ever had that many people. The numbers are up. I could show you these stats. Up to 2023, the average WNBA game was between 7,500 and 9,200 attendees. 75. There was a lot going on there, like promotion with the LGBTQ pride promotion, all of that. They were backing it. They were doing that, but the NBA was subsidizing that. No, there was no renegotiation of anything because it just wasn't. No one was really interested in the way that they are now. Sheryl Swoopes is watching all of this happen with Caitlin Clark, and of course Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. There's another reason. We'll get to that next video. She's watching all of this play out. She's watching everyone say all this stuff, and she's watching everyone love Caitlin Clark. And she's trying to be the one person that doesn't. Now, here's the thing. Her podcast is sponsored by the WNBA. And this is why people are like, man, why is the WNBA doing this? The WNBA is smart. Sheryl Swoopes is smart because there's one marketing rule. In an influencer culture, there's one marketing rule that is the rule of all rules. All right? This one marketing rule is the rule of all rules. And this is why... and you'll see this in a second. Here's the one marketing rule that is the rule of all rules. And this is why Sheryl Swoopes, everyone's saying she's hating Caitlin Clark. No, she's not. She needs Caitlin Clark. She needs her. Because there's this one rule. And here's the rule right here. This is the number one rule in influencer marketing today. Right? This is it. Infamous still has the word famous in it. This is the rule. Infamous still has the word famous in it. So if famous is being known for something, popular for something, usually positive, infamous is being known for something negative, right? This is why, and this is what people want. People don't care about, this is how they used to say it. Negative publicity is still publicity, kind of, right? All publicity is good publicity. That's what people would say. It's infamous still has the word famous in it. So what you have are people who are desperate to go viral, desperate to stay relevant, desperate to get a name. They don't care if it's for something that's negative as long as it's famous. So prime example, right? Take the Hawk Tuah girl. This girl's 21 years old. Typical girl from the South somewhere because she has a little bit of a country accent. I don't follow her a lot. She does a interview, answers a dumb question, right? And it's a vulgar question about a sex act. And she says, you got a Hawk Tuah. That girl has gone viral. She did not think that she was going to go viral. This girl I watched a video of her saying, when I look into my bank account sometimes I can't believe it. She went viral just from that. We live in a culture where if you can go viral, you're an immediate influencer because people will now pay you to go viral. But in order to go viral, people have to talk about you. You have to be saying things that are cutting edge. You have to be saying things that are either catchy. Everyone and their mother wants to go viral if you're in kind of the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok world. Everyone would love for one of their videos to catch fire and get put out there. That's what happened to this girl. And Sheryl Swoopes is aware. So as everyone is praising Caitlin Clark and talking about it, most of the media, maybe the WNBA women are not as big on it because they're, I talked about this yesterday. There's a fear. Some of them are offended, all of those things. Sheryl Swoopes knows that if she says negative things about Caitlin Clark, which would largely rival with everyone else is saying, she's going to stand out. She's going to go, and think about this. If you go on YouTube now and you put Sheryl Swoopes, you type that in, Caitlin Clark, you're going to see more videos talking about her and what she's saying than what she's actually saying. I'm doing a video on her. I watched 3 videos this morning on people talking about her, what she's doing. She's keeping her podcast popping, which if she wasn't saying negative things and just praising her like everyone else was, praising Caitlin Clark, then she would just be, okay, well then it's a matter of, do I like what she's saying versus what these people are saying, right? She has a podcast sponsored by the WNBA, and if she can say negative things about the star, I mean, when you're talking about Caitlin Clark, yes, there are other great players, all of it. But right now, Everyone, there's always going to be a chosen one, right? There's always a chosen one. There's always a Patrick Mahomes. There's always a LeBron James. There's a chosen one. There's always that. It is what it is. Caitlin Clark is the chosen one right now. She might not be 2 years from now. 2 years from now, there's a new girl that everyone is loving and sweating. That's just how it is, right? But right now, she's the chosen one. Everyone's talking about her for the most part in a positive way. And so Sheryl Swoopes, a legend in the game, is talking delusional, acting as if Caitlin Clark is just a byproduct and not the cause of many of what's happening right now. If you watch any video, even my videos on Caitlin Clark, you will find in the comment section many people who will say, I never even watched a WNBA game until this year, me included. I may have seen snippets of one, but I was like, She broke a lady's record, the assist record, rookie assist record. I never heard of her. Then I went and saw highlights of her. I was like, oh my gosh, the lady's record she broke, she's like Pistol Pete. Imagine, she was coming down the court doing these spin. It was crazy the kind of passes she was doing. Didn't even hear of her. And she's had and that record has been standing since 1998. Took her 30 games to make it. Caitlin Clark broken under 30 games. 30 or 4, I can't remember what it was. Sheryl Swoopes is not hating on Caitlin Clark. She needs her. She needs Caitlin Clark to be great so she can say Caitlin Clark is not great. And so people can be like, what are you talking? So now you want to hear what she's saying because you want to disagree with her and call her a hater. But to do that, you're hearing her podcast. I think Sheryl Swoopes is a brilliant marketer. This is 21st century marketing because infamous still has the word famous in it. People don't care what makes them famous. They just want to be famous. People don't care what makes them relevant. They just want to stay relevant. Everyone wants their slice of the American dream. Everyone wants to define the pursuit of happiness for them. And to do that, you gotta stay relevant. Why do you think all of these? You know what's interesting? I see this more with women. Have you ever asked yourself? This is sort of a random point I'm about to make. Have you ever asked yourself why don't men get plastic surgery as often as women? Like whenever, maybe there's some that do, but you don't really hear about men getting Botox shots, getting cheek lips and all of that, getting their lips expanded. Why aren't men getting BBLs, right? Why not? Women are. Because beauty is a part of relevance. And when you're famous, you need to stay relevant. Madonna is 66 years old, dating a 27-year-old black dude that should be, and she looks like, she does not look like the Madonna because she's had so much plastic surgery. I just saw a picture today of a woman whose face was this big. It was all plastic surgery. And I just, first you want to laugh and think like, man, it looks like Cats, the play, or the Island of Dr. Moreau or something. But the reality is, it's just sad. It's a desire to stay relevant by looking a certain way because these women know that we live in an image society culture. And if you want to stay relevant, you got to look a certain way. And so they get plastic surgery, which completely deforms how they look. The vast majority of people who get a lot of plastic surgery do not look good. We try to pretend like they do because we're trying to be kind, but the vast majority of them do not look good. Why do they do that? You don't see that many men. You don't see no dudes all swelled up because dudes know if they get money, then they can get young girls. But women, as they get older, they become less necessary. So not all of them, but many of them get this, and it's sad. They get these because they understand we live in a culture, and they want people to know it. They don't care if people know what they did. That I had this done to my body. I had a BB, because infamous still has the word famous in it. OnlyFans is 100% that. OnlyFans, those girls are all going to regret one day, and they're going to realize when they don't get married because no guy wants to marry a woman who all these other guys saw. Listen, let me tell you something about men. Men know that women that they date or marry have been with other guys. They know that. But they don't want to run into those people and see that. Most people today, most people, not all, when you get married, you're probably not going to marry someone who hasn't been with someone else. You can live with that. Guys can live with that. But you don't want to have her 8 boyfriends who she was intimate with show up at the wedding. You don't want to see these people, right? It's true that you don't want to know that. That's how guys are, right? So in the world, in this image-driven world, this society where like influencer, I want to be an influencer. I need to stay relevant. I need to be a brand. I am a brand. I need to be a brand. We say like and subscribe to the channel. Whether I like it or not, Kirk Kennedy is somewhat of a brand. I'm a human being, but I'm a brand. People like my videos because they like them. These people's a brand. My buddy Rules on, he's a brand. Everything is about influencer, individual branding. And we stay relevant by, 1, having titles that grab your attention, right? And 2, because of this. Sheryl Swoopes is not hating on Caitlin Clark. I guarantee, mark my words, I could be wrong. The magic 8 ball right here. Sheryl Swoopes at some point is going to flip the script and be like, you know what? Caitlin Clark is the bomb. And when she says that, everyone's going to be like, they'll forgive and forget. It's like, they're going to forget it. It's going to be all love. At some point, she's going to acquiesce. Right now, though, it would be dumb for her to do that because her podcast, which no one, I won't say no one, that's arrogant, which I bet you a good bit of people who listen to it would not listen to it if she wasn't saying that. Because there's a market of people that don't like Caitlin Clark, that want Angel Reese to be that really think Angel Reese is better, and I just don't know how you can see that. Angel Reese she's decent, but I think better than Caitlin Clark, more necessary. Just because she won a championship at LSU, what does that mean? People act like, yes, winning a college championship is incredible for that individual, you know, but it goes away. Those people eventually sell those championship rings when they need money. Like it's an accomplishment that people move on from. There's a ton of amazing athletes that never won a championship. So that's not the measure of all greatness. I mean, yeah, when you can do one, it's good. If she would have got one in college sweep, there's a ton of college people that didn't win a championship that won an NBA. She's just started that NBA career. You can't say professional career. You don't know if she's going to win multiple championships. We have no idea. But holding on to LSU winning that as if like that proves something about Caitlin Clark, because she beat her the next year in the Final Four. Beat the same team that beat them. You just thought they were. That stuff doesn't. The reality is that everyone, including Angel Reese, you got to stay relevant. You got to be an influence. You got to be, and people today want to be famous, even if it's for something infamous, even if it's for something negative. So Sheryl Swoopes, well done. I say keep it up. Do what you're doing. Keep hating because you're getting people to talk about you. My whole show, half the show was mentioning Sheryl Swoopes. I've seen plenty of people do it. Good job. Good job. That's what you got to do. That's the market today. People are like, oh, yeah, I bet you're just talking. Yeah, of course I'm going to talk about Caitlin Clark. You know why? Because people want to hear about Caitlin Clark. People want to hear people talk about Caitlin Clark. So I'm going to talk about her. I play basketball. I know the game. I love the game. I think she's phenomenal. I've watched every one of her games. I've been watching her since college. Yeah, I'm going to talk about her. And if it means I'm going to get some likes and subscribe, okay, why not? Why not? Like, what's the problem? This is the culture we live in. This is what we're doing. I don't talk about just her. I know people who just talk about just her. And I've watched their channels blow up. I could do all my videos on that. I probably have 5,000 by now. But that's not what I do. As a believer, as a pastor, I talk about many things because I don't think I'm supposed to just talk about the Bible. I talk about things that happen in the culture, things that I'm passionate about, is who I am. But what I'm telling you is the real. I promise you. Sheryl Swoopes does not hate Caitlin Clark. She actually, I think, appreciates her. I think she's impressed by her, and one day she's going to acknowledge that. What Sheryl Swoopes is doing is being infamous because most of the media is talking about how great she is. She's one of the most well-known people saying the opposite, and that's why people are watching her. And that, my friends, is influencer marketing 101. You got to do it. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape. Matt Hannock, what's up, man? What's good, Matt? I think you're right and wrong. I think she needs her for the podcast, but she does also here at the same time. Yeah, okay, we can disagree with that. I agree. I don't think she does. I do think she hates her, but I think it's because it's marketing. I don't think she hates her. Well, she may have come to that, but I think it's marketing. I think a lot of it is. She may hate her, but Sheryl Swoopes knows that a lot of people love her. And in this culture, she knows that that's going to happen, that people are going to talk about her. Did something now happen between Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark? Did Caitlin Clark say something about Sheryl? It seems like she has something personal against Clark. Well, it does, but so here's my point. There's nothing that Caitlin Clark has said about Sheryl Swoopes. It's Sheryl Swoopes constantly saying negative things about Caitlin Clark, or talking about Indiana Fever and how great they are, and talking about like Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall isn't that great. She had you know why Lexi Hall is being celebrated right now? Because she had a 23-point game against Seattle. And some of those were passes that came from Caitlin Clark. It wasn't like she dropped 23 on her own. But everyone, Lexi Hall, man, she hasn't had a great season. That's one game. Like, let her do that 7, 8, 9 more games, and then let's talk. Now, what is good about Lexi Hall is that it sounds like Kelsey Mitchell wants to leave Indiana after the season's over. So you're going to need another person that can shoot the lights out, because that's what's been working for them. So if Lexi Hall can become that, sweet. But Sheryl Swoopes is saying negative things about Caitlin Clark. My point is, everyone says it's hate. I think it's hate for a reason. It's marketing hate. She may not like her, may be jealous of her, sure, but she also knows she could be a professional and say things, but she also knows by saying the opposite of what people are saying, it's going to draw attention. It's going to draw attention. Where have you been? What have you ever seen CC talk bad about someone? Washed up player, abuse, Swoopes for anybody for that matter. Yeah, I agree with that. Swoopes and every other irrelevant fool needs CC for clicks. Washer, you see it. You see it. I think that's what's happening here. CC done take WNBA to 10. Man, I'm going to show you this in a different video. My next video, I'm going to show you this. But he's spot on. He's spot on. Says, as for Dejanay tweet, the Boston game was last December. Drew a crowd of 19,125, making the third highest WNBA game this season and the highest attended matchup in Suns franchise history. Yeah, it was announced last December. Right, I'm about to say, right. BBL Drizzy. That's the only one, right? BBL Drizzy. He's the only one that I could think of that got that, right? Most guys don't do it. It's usually women, because that's how you stay relevant. They understand and they don't mind. And people will tell you that. Remember when people used to be, you didn't want anybody to know. But now people will celebrate that. Let me give you another practical example. Remember when Tiger Woods got exposed for cheating on his wife? Remember that? There was a woman, a brunette, long brown hair with glasses. I forgot her name. She was the first one that was exposed. Tiger Woods was cheating on his Norwegian model wife, right? And then after that, it exploded, and all of these women started coming out and saying they've had an affair, right, with Tiger Woods, right? Then I remembered Gloria Allred, who's like this celebrity kind of lawyer, right? There were 3 women that she was representing that all said that they had been with Tiger Woods while he was married. And they were trying to get book deals and all of it, right? And I remembered watching that thinking, dag, there was a time when you would be called a homewrecker, an adulterer for that, right? There was a time where you didn't want people to know you did that. But now these women were trying to get fame from it. They wanted to get book deals to talk about because you slept with a married man. Because infamous still has the word famous in it. People don't care that there's no more moral. So you'll say things, even if it's negative, if it'll get you popular. And that's what I think Sheryl Swoopes is doing 100%. I just asked a question because Sheryl Swoopes has said something personal against Caitlyn. She never praised Caitlyn. This is why I was thinking something happened. LOL, CC Murr sold out 10 minutes, bro. Before the Wilson even made an announcement. CC, bro, that basketball that so to his point, Wilson just released a basketball, navy blue, red, and gold, right? They put a basketball out yesterday. What's today? Wednesday? Yesterday. That basketball was sold out in 30 minutes. I went to Wilson's page. There's only one other basketball that's sold out. The Las Vegas team basketball is sold out. I went and looked at almost every other player. You can order that basketball and have it delivered in 2 days. Caitlin Clark says sold out. We'll let you know when That's the stuff we're talking about. That's the stuff that's crazy. Washer, you in the comment section, bro. You taking it for you for real with it. Yeah, Swoopes has something personal against CC. Her whiteness and the fact that she can ball, broke a bunch of old heads records, plus CC helps her be in the limelight. Yeah, that part I agree with. I don't think her whiteness, man. I think maybe that could be it. But I don't think it's as adamant as people think. I think race, listen, in America, racism is the #1 historical story. Racism is the Lakers versus Celtics of interpersonal relationships. So whenever you talk about racism, especially when it's black versus white, there's a lot of racism. There's a lot of different racism. And first of all, please don't tell me black people can't be racist. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I don't know where that came from, but that's a lie. They used to say that's a lie from the pit of hell. I know a lot of black people that's racist. I don't know what people were talking about, but that's a different conversation. But I don't think it's about her whiteness as much. There's a lot of good white ballers. I think it's something else. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video for Caitlin Clark. There's a real. It's not about her whiteness. That's a smokescreen. There's another reason why they don't like Caitlin Clark. And there's another, and we're going to get to that in another video. Swoopes got fired for player mistreatment. That woman unstable. Now her legacy going down in 10. Well said. Angel Reese is Joaquin Noah. Somebody else said that to me the other day. I said Dennis Rodman. Someone said Joaquin Noah. Caitlin Clark is a Steph Curry, Pistol Pete. I don't think she's Pistol Pete. Well, she don't pass like Pistol Pete. She just gets it out there. The girl whose record she broke, she passes like Pistol Pete. That girl is no joke. I ain't getting over 1 million views for WNBA game. Bro, the last basketball this hot was Curry. 100%. 100%. I agree with that. Even he didn't sell out merch as much. That's why everybody's talking about it. She's just a chosen one right now. Get it? You can be mad if you want. Call it racism if you want. Listen, it's not racism. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. If a company thinks, listen, why would Wilson not give a player? You mean to tell me Wilson, the organization, or Nike is thinking, hey, we should go ahead and get one of these black women a shoe deal and all of that? But nah, we don't want to do that. We want to just wait for a white girl to come out. Man, nobody's doing that, man. Nobody's doing that. Wilson, these companies, the only color they care about is green, fam. This is capitalism. They saw that everyone was hype about Caitlin Clark. This is why people can go viral. Why did the hot tour? That girl, what a dumb that girl's getting paid money by companies. You know why? Because they're trying to capitalize. That girl is probably not going to be famous 3 months from now. She's probably going to be, I hope she's investing her money. Unless she keeps doing, it's because she's famous. That's when you're an influencer, that's what happens. Everyone keeps talking about, it's capitalism. Wilson was like, everyone loves this girl. Let's give her a basketball. Wilson's making way more off them basketballs than she is. I bet you if you look at that contract, Nike is making way more off of Caitlin Clark than Caitlin Clark's making, because that's the culture we live in. It's a capitalism culture. This isn't racism, it's capitalism. If they thought, hey, Asia Wilson, she's a tall black woman who plays down low. I said this before. The WNBA, people look at models, right? The NBA, at one point, centers in the NBA were a fixture, right? You had centers from the old school, from Bill Russell on up through Shaquille O'Neal. You had Akeem Olajuwon. You had Patrick Ewing. You had Alonzo Mourning. It was a centers game. And then Jordan comes in and starts to become a guards game, right? And it changes and changes, and it becomes more of a guard game. But the post is still a big player. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, you need post players. And then eventually the NBA starts to change, and you get big guys like Dirk Nowitzki. He ain't posting up, he's shooting a three. And now you got look at Wemby, 7 foot, shooting three. So it changes, right? The game has changed, and so people don't really care about the post anymore. Like Shaq couldn't be dominant in this era because nobody cares about a big dude who can dunk down low. What people care about is you hitting the three. Steph Curry made the 3-point shot as popular, in some cases even more exciting than a dunk. So no one cares about post players. It's not because Aja Wilson is black. I mean, that might play a factor. Of course, that always is going to play a factor in America. But as the dominant reason, no. Aja Wilson plays in the post. She's a dog. She's right now. I appreciate that they're saying Caitlin Clark might get MVP, but she's balling. She's been balling from the get-go. But she's been playing for years. Caitlin Clark's first year. She's been balling for years. But she's 6'4", down low in the paint. Most people aren't excited for that. Now, if Aja Wilson was bringing the ball up, pulling threes from half court, it would be different. But she's not. So it's not a race thing. It's not a black women thing. It's just that, look, and the only thing I would say is this. Black people are known to be more athletic. We're known to be more athletic. So when we come in and when we can dance, when we can do sports, when we can rap, it's not as impressive because we're known for that. But when someone else white comes in and they can rap or they can jump. Remember the movie White Men Can't Jump? Remember that? That was a sentiment because it wasn't, you had Rex Chapman, you had a couple of dudes in the NBA, but it wasn't, it wasn't a lot. Them dunk contests was mostly black dudes, right? The point is when you can do something that is predominantly used to be done by someone else, everyone's gonna pay attention. Caitlin Clark, yeah, that's what race has to do with it. In the WNBA, black people are aggressive. They ball. They good athletes. Of course, they're not. When you come in there and do that, you expect that to happen. But then when you get a white girl to come in, oh, she's a great white hope. It's because you didn't think this white girl was going to come in and do that. You didn't think. That's where race matters. That's why it matters, because people expect when you're good at something. If a black dude, let a gangster. Now maybe I'm wrong, but let a hood dude. I'm talking about a real gangster, not no black dude that grew up in Canada. I'm talking about a real gangster dude, a dude who grew up in Southside Chicago, O Block, because it's cold out there, right? Let's go to O Block in Chicago, where Dirk and them are from, King Von and them, right? Let a dude come out of O Block that can play hockey, ridiculous. Let him go get a scholarship, and then let him get drafted by an NHL team, a real black dude. Everybody's gonna watch that joint. Because you ain't used to that's a white boy sport. It's a white man sport. You're not used to seeing it. That's what Tiger Woods. They never seen no black dudes come in and do that. That's a white dude sport. Golf is going to happen, and when it comes, that's where race matters. It's not like, oh, she's white and it's because you don't expect white girls to be able to ball like that. And when they do, it's like, ooh. Just like physically. Black women are shaped a certain way, Latino women. You expect that, but when you see a white girl, you're like, whoa, because you're not used to that, right? That's probably why Kim Kardashian, you're not used to seeing that. When you're not used to it, it changes everything. I think people are just tripping, man, because when you say race, it just stays with the narrative, and it's something that we don't got to think about. We don't have to give thought to it. We say, oh, that's just racism. It's a lot of racism the other way, man. I think it's just crazy. Reese is a hard worker type. Yeah, she's a good player. But ESPN did Reese dirty by sticking her. Yeah, I think so, bro. That was because now you're paying attention to her, and now you notice all her flaws, right? Did you see that 8-minute video where they showed her missing multiple layups? That stuff is real, man. Listen, man, we know what we talking about around here. We know what we talking about. Yeah, Lexi Nee, because, she's not consistent yet. 100%. Sheryl Swoopes is trying to be Skip Bayless. I think that's part of it. I don't think she thinks, let me be Skip Bayless, but that's what she's doing. Skip Bayless was notorious for hating on LeBron, right? But think about this for a second, Brandon, right? What made you know about Skip? Why did you know about Skip Bayless? Because he was the one person saying LeBron wasn't that good. And even though LeBron consistently proved him wrong, when he did something wrong, Skip Bayless was like, see, I told you. He should have shot that ball, but he passed it in it. That's how he got known. Sheryl Swoopes, I don't know if she's thinking, let me be the Skip, because Skip Bayless just got fired, so he ain't really in a favorable light in people. So I doubt Sheryl Swoopes is thinking, let me be Skip Bayless. But it's the same principle. That Skip Bayless wasn't dumb. When everyone's saying LeBron's a phenom, and you say, no, he's not. Let me give you his flaws. It's the same idol, different altar. Listen, infamous still has the word famous in it. Make no mistake. Blaze, I think people are upset that Caitlin Clark got her signature shoe Nike deal very quickly with players like Aja Wilson. It took time to get that. I don't think it's 100%. I agree with that. They said it was race. No, it's about if Nike thought. Listen, man, Nike. You know how Nike got rich off of black people, bruh. There's so many black people that got shoes. I bet you. I can't prove this, but I'm gonna actually. I bet you there are more black people with a signature shoe than white people on Nike. I bet you the highest. I mean, Jordans. Jordan's shoe was so ridiculous, he got his own brand. This Bama Jordan ain't played in like 25 years. Like 23 years, because he played for the Wizards the last couple of years. I was at them games out of D.C., watching him give, at 40 years old, giving Vince Carter at the time, who was a 24-year-old phenom, watching him give Vince Carter 40. I'm sitting down there on the court, on the floor, watching Jordan ice his knees in the fourth quarter. 40 years old, dropping 40 points, right? Listen, I bet you Nike has made more money off of black people. They ain't got no problem with no black people. Even if they racist, you're a fool if you were, because you're making money off of them. You're a fool. You're a fool. I bet you there are more signature shoes. That has nothing to do with race, man. It was about excitement. No one, listen, when Kelsey Plum, white woman, came into the league, WNBA, she had, if I'm not mistaken, she was the all-time leading scorer coming in. But nobody was talking about Kelsey Plum like that. The reason why Caitlin Clark got a shoe before Aja Wilson is not because Aja's a black woman. It's because the culture, because Caitlin Clark made people watch the women's Final Four more than the men's for the first time ever. That's why. She was look. See, let me tell you what CC should also stand for. Cash cow. That's Caitlin Clark's advertising name, right? Her brand name, Caitlin Cash Cow Clark. That's what that CC stands for, right? That joint stands for she's a cash cow. She's a cash cow, and that's why if Caitlin Clark all of a sudden falls out of favor with Nike and or with the public, and no one likes her anymore, them endorsements is gone. Yep, they're gone. Well, we made our money. Let's keep it moving. Who's the next person that everybody likes that we can benefit from and exploit to make money from? That's just the culture we live in. It's just that. Hating is an illegitimate marketing strategy. Skip Bayless made his career hating. Yep. Legitimate. Yeah, I said illegitimate. I'm back. 100%. It's a legitimate marketing strategy. Sheryl Swoopes is doing a great job. Listen, in a capitalistic society, the goal is to make money. This is why I told people all the time, listen, fam, you can get mad at the wokeness all you want, but think about this. Woke, what you call wokeness, is a multi-billion-dollar industry that didn't exist 15 years ago. So all the people that promote it, all the people that wrote against it, every book that was written against the Black Lives Matter, Candace Owens is famous because of Black Lives Matter, because of the wokeness. It's a whether you like being woke or not, or whatever you think it means, it is a capitalistic success story because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. That is the promise of America. The American dream is you can go from rags to riches. And so people leave their countries to come to America. Let's stop pretending like it's virtuous. It's about green, fam. Slavery was not about racism initially. It was about green. Jim Crow, that was about being black. Angry at black people for no longer being slaves after the Civil War. But before that, it was about making money. The Civil War was like, we don't want to lose the ability to make money. We're making money off of these people. It wasn't just about the color of their skin. After that, it became that. It's green. Green has done more to promote race. It's class. It's class. So yeah, it's a great strategy. I think she's doing a great job. Sorry, she is not objective about it. She lied about her stats and got away with it. 100%. I agree with that. 100%. Sheryl Swoopes has made herself into a hating buffoon. You know what though? Oh, to some people, sure. But you know what, Neil? A lot of people are watching her podcast though. Listen, let's just be clear. And I can't prove this. I can't prove this because I'm not the Lord. I'm not the Lord. I don't know all things, right? Obviously, right? But let me just say this. I bet you, without the hate against Caitlin Clark, the vast majority of people who listen to her podcast would not be listening. She would get former players and current players who respect her and what she did for the league. They would be listening to her podcast from time to time. But most people would not listen. That podcast is popping because she's saying stuff again. So she may be a hating buffoon to you and others, but to them, she's ratings. It's ratings. They're not going to keep giving you a podcast if you're attached to some media. It's ratings. It's just that. The irony about the racial element is basketball was invented by a white guy. 100% invented by a white dude to help people pass the time, right? Invented by a white dude. That's it. It is ironic. It is ironic. but black people pretty much run basketball in terms of the athletes. And same with the WNBA. It's largely, but there's a lot of good white people that play. But when someone comes in and can do what only black people have been known to do, everyone's gonna pay attention. That's in everything. You ever seen like a white person that can dance? Like I'm talking about, like I'm not talking about the waltzing and stuff like the Charleston. I'm talking about like got rhythm, and they just, you like, oh, they getting it. You can't believe it. Remember that song, what you won't do for love. You tried everything. We thought that dude was black. We thought Bobby was black until one day somebody realized this is a white dude singing that. And we were flipping out like, whoa. Because you don't think that white people sound like that. You don't think it. You just, this big booming voice. You don't think that. Michael McDonald, boy, he was getting it. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. That big booming voice. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. Yeah, some of y'all know what's up. If you know what up, pat your check. Listen, when somebody white can do something that only black, or somebody black does something that only white people, everybody's gonna talk about it. That's not about race, man. That's about being shocked. That's about presumption, because you thought only black people shoot like that. Only black people dance like that. Only black people sing like that. Only white people play that sport. Only white. It's wild to me, man. I could talk about this all day. And make people mad, because all of us want to be right. Yeah, even Stephen A. and ESPN bot. Man, you got a lot of insults. Watch you. Relax, fam. Relax, bro. Why you insult everybody, fam? Bro, it's not that serious. Knew that CC was great marketing and money, and she get contracts for. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Asia Wilson is marketable. Yeah, she is marketable. She's a good player. I mean, she sells. I mean, she's marketable. She has a shoe, but she's not as popular. But our issue, what I'm saying is, she's not popular not because she's a black woman and doesn't get a fair shake. It's just companies will listen. There are people who are black, Drewski, okay, Drewski, a big black dude who had became an influencer. Blonde hair, big goofy black dude, right? Funny, all of that, right? He's an influencer. He's famous. There are brands that, you know why? Because people like him. He doesn't look the part, but people like him because, and so brands are like, we want him to, so he's doing commercials. Remember he got the commercial with Kevin Garnett? He's doing commercials, getting money. Because that's the culture we live in. To say that it's racism now is it's a cop-out. Because if race always has something to do with it in America, but it's not the way people think. It's green. The color you need to focus on is green, not black or white. All right, as a super team, so CeCe barely had an MVP chance, but she tied second with fellow super team Sabrina. People forget this girl is first pick and came on the worst team. 100%, bro. You know. So 3 years ago, the Indiana Fever won 5 games, right? Then the next season they won 6 games, and then last season they won 13. Christy Side's first year. This year they're now tied at 13 with about 14 games left to go, right? So if you think about it, the 2 previous years to last year they combined for 11 games, right? So they're 40. So they won 11 games out of 80 games. They were 11 for 69. Christy Sides comes and they win 13 games, so they're 13 and 27, right? Don't make the playoffs. And then she comes this year. Now they're 13 and 14 or 15. So they got like 12 more games on. She came to the worst team in the league. That's another reason why people are talking. Because everyone thought she's going to come and rock and roll, and she didn't. She got rocked, and then she rolled. And now they're balling. It's like, oh, what you thought Caitlin Clark was going to do from college, she's starting to do now. This team has already won as many games. They've won more games this year than they did in 2 previous seasons before last year. That's insane, bro. And people are acting like it's about race. That's just so dumb to me. And I'm a black dude. Like I ain't trying to hear that. I just think it's wild. It's just wild. Man, you right. That race got over. It is, because that was to confuse us. Unfortunately, CC got black, Asian, and white fan. 100%. Swoopes just trolling. Yeah, she's trolling, but she's trolling. It's intelligent trolling. There's trolling, and then there's intelligent trolling, right? She's intelligent trolling. Remember, Infamous still has the word famous in it, right? Hate and need can be mutually exclusive phenomena. It's obvious Cheryl harbors both. All right, cool. I'm with you. Jordan, remember that? Republicans buy shoes too. Remember that? 100%. Jordan understood the game. He was like, man, look, they was like, man, you know, they wanted Jordan to speak out during all the Black Lives Matter stuff. Jordan was like, man, Republicans buy shoes too. He was lying. He wasn't lying. It's phenomenal to me, man. People are just wild. Asia, nowhere near popular than CC. Now that right there would be where the jealousy, I think, comes from. If there's jealousy, it's that. Her popularity carried from college. She got more popular. Let's just be honest. She was popular in college, but she got more popular. Now she was popular in college. She's a household name now. Household name. I mean, you go to watch a Yankees game and everyone's cheering because you're there. She's a household name now. That's the reality. Swoopes don't need to say Clark's name. Everybody knows who she is, but Clark made it possible to know whoever. Well said, Gary. I agree with that, brother. I agree. Caitlin Clark. That's what I'm saying. That's why the point of this video, it says Sheryl Swoopes doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. She needs her. What you just said, Gary, you were spot on. She made it possible to know who everybody else was. I totally agree with that, brother. Caitlin Clark feeds all, supporters and haters. Cheryl chose the dark side and is trying to keep herself right. Listen, Sheryl Swoopes is not on the dark. She's gonna eventually give her props, and then it's gonna be all love. But once she does that, it may change her audience. The people may not watch her as much when you're just saying, listen, people watch her. The reason why you all watch multiple Caitlin Clark people talk, because you want to hear different takes on what you're seeing and what people are saying, and you enjoy that. That's what's happening here. Man, CC can get sold off a shelf in 30. Yep, 100%. That's crazy. Every brand working with her eating. Stats say he's going to make over 500,000. 100%. I totally agree with that. Totally agree, bro. Exactly. It was the first time women's basketball didn't suck. Her great playing and record breaking attracted people and so the hate. It did, but there's another reason. That's my next video on Caitlin Clark. There's another reason that is the real reason why a lot of it. It's not race. There's another reason why this season is happening the way that it is. There's another reason, and that'll be my next video. I may do it today, definitely tomorrow, but I don't talk about just Caitlin Clark. I don't want the people who watch my channel to be like, man, you just talk about Caitlin Clark all the time. I talk about many things, right? Facts. Thank you, Famo. Thank you. Woke strategy declining recently. Something new coming though. 100%. I agree. The love of money is the root of all evil, brother. That's American history. I mean, the negative side, there's a lot of good of American history, but the negative side is that, man. Slavery, race, Jim Crow, it's all about money. I mean, think about this. What was Jim Crow laws? What were those laws? Those were just economic sanctions against black people for being freed in the Civil War. It's always about money. This is what America's about. It's about money, and that's what's going to happen. She hating all the way to the bank. 100%. Bernadine, money is the root of all evil. 100%. Bernadine, you own it. Money that's it. That's it. Yo, Mo B there. That's what's up, Doug. Swoopes is just another leech attaching herself to the phenom named Caitlin Clark. Well, I would, yeah. So I see what you're saying, Gary, but you know what, though? I wouldn't say a leech. I think, because in that case, then I'm a leech. Everyone who talks about it, like, this is just the world we live in. We live in a culture where we've always idolized athletes, actors, singers, whatever, right? And now in our culture, you don't even have to be talented. You don't even have to be beautiful. You just have to be popular, right? There are people making money that would never make money in any other, but you don't even have to be in. Look at Lizzo. Lizzo would never have got a record deal 30, 40 years ago, right? But now it's like, if you can make money and people are going to react to that. In our culture, you know, it used to be when traditional media, you had like your main news, NBC, Fox, CBS, you know, Washington Post, USA Today, New York Times. But now people are going to so many places to get their information that everyone's competing. So everyone wants to have the secret, the real reason why. It's like Inquiring Minds. Remember when Inquiring, if you're old enough, remember when Inquirer magazine used to be like, Inquiring Minds want to know, like me. Remember the commercials? It was like, that was like the gossip magazine or People magazine. That's the only time you could find out about celebrities. I never bought an Inquirer, but there are times I'm in the grocery store or with my mother or whatever, I might grab one and just flip at it because it has some famous people that I know. And just while I'm waiting in line, I might read it for a few minutes, right? But now you get access to these people all the time. That's the culture we live in. So I don't think she's a leech as much as she is pivoting off of what everyone. This is the culture we live in. Everyone. How many YouTubers do we need? This many YouTubers? No, the YouTube doesn't need me. We don't need you. But there's plenty of us because the opportunity's there and we can benefit from it, and that's what she's doing. It's true. Bobby Caldwell was black. Man, Blaze, everyone, when you heard that, what you won't do for love, you tried everything. Man, everybody thought Bobby Caldwell was black. And then when you see him, he don't even look like a white dude that got rhythm like that. Like, it's one thing to be like, you know how some people, like, you could tell they grew up in the culture, so that makes sense. But he don't even look like that, right? He looks like he should be working at IT somewhere. But it was everybody. And that's what I'm saying. That's where the racism comes into play. It's because Caitlin Clark is doing things that you've only seen black people do. And that's where it comes. It's the Bobby Caldwell effect, man. It's the Tiger Woods. He came and it was like, what in the world is this? They thought, hey, man, golf ain't exciting enough for black people, man. We need... And then Tiger Woods came in there and made it exciting for black people. You know, it was like, what was going on? I think the WNBA need to better promote players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Wilson, Angel Reese, some other players. We can't complain, but yeah, I think so. I think they deserve better. But I think Caitlin Clark is promoting them by herself, to be honest. She's promoting them. Well, I think what's happening is, like with the Olympics, Caitlin Clark is so popular and people want to see her that other players are getting offended because the stadiums aren't packed when they're like I'm gonna be like be honest. I don't know if you're competitive or if you play sports, but imagine playing for a team. You just had a home game and there were 10,000 people there, and that's still good, you know. But no player wants to play in front of. No musician wants to not sell any records. No athlete wants to play in an empty stadium. They'll practice and they don't want to play in front of it, right? Let's just say you're on a team and for years you talk about, man, one day we're going to get to play in the NBA stadium. But you don't, and you think you're going to be responsible, you're going to eventually get there. Then this girl comes in and everyone's crazy about her. And now when your team plays them, you're playing in the stadium that you were hoping to get in by yourself. Of course you're going to be stung by that. You're going to be disappointed. Your fans are coming there to see her and you. So what you do is you're going to give her 40 points. You're going to make your fans be like, hey, we got a dog on our team. That's what some of these people are doing. But these players know that when they're not playing against Indiana Fever, they're not playing to the same capacity crowd, and sometimes not even playing in the same gymnasium. So I think that's where it comes from. LOL, the way they defended CC from the jump backfired because it made her get used to the high position. 100%. Yeah, now she can do it. Duh. Nah, man, go look on YouTube. Look up Bobby Caldwell. He ain't black, fam. He called us on, and when you see him, you're gonna be like, what? It looks like his name is Randy Dots. You know, somebody you just don't even look like it, but it is what it is. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. I haven't gone to the comment section with the Caitlin Clark video yet, so it's fun to do that. Appreciate y'all, and I'm telling you, my next Caitlin Clark video, like and subscribe, will be. I'm telling you, I'll put it together, and you'll see what the real issue is. But until then, grace and peace.